Good afternoon. We will begin today with the 1 o'clock hearing of the Committee on Housing and the Committee on Energy and Intergovernmental Affairs. We have a later Housing Committee agenda jointly with the Committee on Water, Land, Culture, and the Arts. This meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. In the unlikely event that we have to end this hearing due to technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business at 1 p.m. on Thursday, April 2nd in this room 225, and a public notice will be posted on the legislature's website. We have a 1 minute per testifier time limit. If there are temporary technical glitches during your turn to testify via Zoom, we may have to move on to the next person due to time constraints. We appreciate your understanding and remind you that the committee has your written testimony. Okay, our first measure on the joint agenda with EIG is SCR 48 and SR 47, declaring the intent that affordable housing credits are perpetual and remain valid until redeemed, and requesting the counties to recognize those credits without expiration dates. And our first testifier is DHHL in support, followed by OPSD in support.
OPSD stands on certain testimony in support. No questions.
Thank you. And NIAP Hawaii chapter in support.
Aloha chairs, members of the committee, Evan Oy on behalf of NIAP Hawaii. You have a written testimony. We do stand in strong support and just appreciate the legislature clarifying the intent for these affordable housing credits to be perpetual until redeemed. I think it really helps, solidify the intent of what this tool was meant to be from a financing for housing perspective. So we appreciate the legislature's hard work on this and available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to testify on SCR 48 and SR 47? Okay, if not, I'll hand it over to the EIG chair.
Okay, we're going to move on to the last two pair of resolutions, SCR 107 and SR 101. And on our testifiers list, we have Grassroots Hawaii Institute. That's all I have for those indicating a desire to testify. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on these two resolutions, 107 and SR 101? If not, members, there's no one to ask questions of. And
Oh yeah,
can we,
wrong place.
dun, da, 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 welcome.
Found it.
Can we move into decision making? Okay.
Sure. All right, so chairs having conferred, we'll go straight into decision making, starting with SCR 48 and SR 47. Chair's recommendation will be to pass this measure unamended. Any discussion or questions, members? If not, again, for SCR 48 and SR 47, chair's recommendation is to pass unamended. Chair votes aye.
Members, SCR 48, passed unamended. Chair votes aye. I vote aye. Senator Elefante.
Aye.
Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Favela, excused. Chair recommendations adopted.
Thank you.
For members of EIG, same recommendation. Any discussion? If not, Senator Chang, when you're ready, I vote yes.
Okay, chair's recommendation for SCR 48 and SR 47 is to pass unamended. Chair votes yes. Vice chair votes aye. Senator DeCoit is excused. Senator Richards.
President. Sorry, I didn't hear it.
And Senator Favela. Is that Senator Favela? Yes.
President.
Okay.
Oh, aye. I mean, yeah, sorry, aye.
Okay, recommendation is adopted.
Okay, members, we're going to move on to the last pair of measures on this agenda, SCR 107 and SR 101. The chairs have conferred. We want to make two amendments to this, making clear that this resolution only applies to the city and county of Honolulu, and that it will be done in collaboration with the Department of Housing and Land Management, as well as the Department of Planning and Permitting. So those two entities will collaborate in getting the value that this resolution makes, has set as a goal. Any discussion? If not, Senator Chang, I vote yes.
Chair's recommendation for SCR 107 and SR 101 is to pass with amendments of the members present. Are there any objections or reservations? Hearing none, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
And for the Committee on Housing, same recommendation to pass with amendments for SCR 107 and SR 101. Chair votes aye.
Members, noting the presence of all members, any members voting with reservations or nays, without others voting aye, recommendations adopted.
Thank you. There being no further business, the joint hearing with the Committee on Energy and Intergovernmental Affairs is adjourned.
Good afternoon. We're convening the joint committees on water, land, culture, and the arts and housing on our 1:05 p.m. agenda here in State Capitol Conference Room 225. We have up today SCR 68 and SR 63, which will take testimony on together, which urges the DLNR urges DLNR to transfer parcels that make up the East Kapolei Transit-Oriented Development Project to the Hawaii Housing Finance and Development Corporation, urging the HHFDC to partner with HCDA to facilitate the development of non-housing community development portions of the project. Testifying first on these measures is DLNR.
Stand on our written testimony with comments.
Thank you. Up next is HHFDC. Thank you. And HCDA. Okay. We also have testimony or signed up to testify DHHL. And if not, that is everyone who had signed up to testify. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on these resolutions this afternoon? Hearing none. Are there questions?
Anyone from DLNR?
Yes.
I thank you for being here. I read through your testimony on this, but I was just curious. So you currently are now at an RFP. So what is the RFP going out for specifically? If you're able to discuss that.
I don't think that's our.
For DLNR.
Right, I am.
DLNR.
Oh, I just transitioned to.
Oh, you
DLNR.
did? Oh, congrats.
Yes,
Just
thank
state
you.
your name and position for the record.
Oh, Seiji Ogawa, Administrator for DLNR.
I'm sorry, EIS.
Oh, EIS.
EIS, sorry.
Right, so we're in the tail end of it. We're just awaiting a market study. And once that's done, the consultant gets it back to write up the final portion of the EIS, and it should be ready to publish by end of this summer.
Okay. Thank you, Seiji. Thank you, chairs.
Further questions? Real quick, just in your testimony, you note the distinction between the housing portions of the parcels in question versus the non-housing
Right.
portions, but in your testimony, I think DLNR speaks to the revenue it gets off of some of those lands, or the potential for revenue to get off of some of those lands. The other two agencies, HHFDC and HCDA, note, at least in one of their testimonies, that the intent is to continue the funding that would otherwise be generated off of those lands to DLNR. Is that your understanding?
Correct. Lauren Yasaka, Acting Assistant Administrator for the Land Division. Our understanding is that we would do something very similar to what was proposed for the Pohukaina site, where HHFDC would retain enough funds, and so would HCDA, to cover their administration costs, and the rest of the revenue would be towards the SLDF.
Okay. And that's, that would be like written out in some
We would hope.
formal agreement or
Yeah, so
something,
our
right?
hope is, right, if you allow us to do what we've proposed in our comments for you folks on this resol, is that we would take things parcel by parcel, which would allow us to go before the board with an MOA or MOU in hand to basically solidify that cost share agreement.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, so, I've been concerned that a lot of the East Kapolei parcels are being used for non-housing development. Is that changing anytime soon?
Okay, so I know you've been following this project for a while. So the housing, there has been some changes that I don't think that you are aware of. The TOD parcel, which is the parcel closest to the station, we have developed the front half to be a mixed-use development, so housing and commercial component, which is typical of TOD. The Mauka half of that parcel, so behind the actual rail line area, has actually been land banked for future housing development if the market proves that it's ready for it. Across the street of Farrington Highway, more Mauka, half of that is affordable housing, and the other half is slated to be a part of a larger business industrial park, which I know you're not a fan of, but that would be our revenue generating portion more so than anything.
So what changed?
What changed?
Yeah.
Oh, that we land banked that other half of the TOD parcel for more housing.
Okay, So that
It's just-
industrial, how far is that industrial park from the train station?
So if this, I don't have a map.
About quarter
It is kitty corner, so across from Tokai University.
on the UH West.
On the
Oahu
UH
campus.
Wahoo side, so Kualaka'i Parkway, Farrington Highway. Industrial would be here, station is down here.
And about how far?
So
is the
this is
right
the
side?
1 mile, I think it's like 3,
Is it the right side, Kitty Corner,
yeah,
across the university,
yeah.
right?
But that's actually Deer Horton, and then right next to that would be
Yeah.
ours. Yeah, you're right. I think it's outside, it's more than a mile away. Because when you draw that radius around the thing, yeah, it's actually right outside.
More than half a mile.
Yeah,
More than half a mile?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But the TOD site where the station is, that is supposed to be a typical, what you would hope to see in a TOD, which is the housing and a retail component because, right, it's the walkable community. But that would be on like the bottom levels where the majority on top would sit would be the housing component.
I don't remember clearly, but the last I checked that those parcels for the industrial park were actually not that far away from the rail station. That they would be within walking distance.
I mean, you could walk it, but it's still outside of the TOD, half-mile radius.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we can note that, that I would, it would be my preference that we would prioritize housing for all of these parcels. And again, I still, there aren't that many parcels that, I mean, you folks own a lot of land, and not that much of that land is near the rail station. So I don't know why this land would be so highly prioritized for industrial development like warehouses.
This one was, okay, so the ones that are actually TOD are the ones that include the station and the one, we kind of requested that the other two be brought in so that we could do density on the Mauka side of Farrington Highway, but technically they weren't originally in the TOD zone. We actually asked for them to be incorporated within there, just so that our development was within one zoning kind of requirement. I understand that you do want housing on all the parcels. I mean, we've had this conversation over the years, and I think we still stand by, the market study says what it does, and we're following what the market study says. Ho'opili is right next door. There is lots of housing in the area, so we need to make sure that we work with HHFTC. They're the leaders in housing, not us, and to ensure that whatever housing gets put out there pencils out for everybody involved, yeah? Like, you want to make sure you have enough people to fill that housing. You don't want empty units.
I think it's the first hearing in my entire career that the state has fears that there will be way too much housing on its own lands.
You have to remember though that this is rental housing, right? This is not people can buy homes. You're renting them. They're not 99 leases. They're rentals because the state cannot sell land. So we cannot sell the units.
Why can't they be 99-year leasehold units?
We don't have that permission. The only thing that I am aware of right now is the 99-year pilot project that each CDA is currently in the process of, I believe, developing. That was the pilot project that would indicate whether or not that was something that people had an appetite for.
But HHFTC has that power.
You have the power. Then if that's what they choose to do, then so be it. That's up to I'm
So
not dictating them.
I'm not going to continue this line of questioning any further, but
Okay.
it's this sort of knee-jerk anti-housing posture at the department that I completely disagree with. Senator Favela.
Yes, something?
Oh,
After, oh no.
you can go ahead
Okay.
first.
I understand exactly what you're saying, yeah, but I live in the area. We're not gonna have a problem filling up houses. I understand you guys doing one study, but right now, Ho'opili sold a lot of their property for industrial to Costco's.
Yeah.
Almost 15 or 11, 21 acres, no, 51 acres, sorry, to Costco.
Yeah.
They're gonna be making cold storages, industrial, all of those things. So I kind of agree with Senator Chang, if that, gonna have all of this industrial already being prepared, and best use for state land to help with the housing crisis, I think that should be prioritized because everybody else is going to be building these things, and then we're going to build industrial, and you're saying that because Ho'opili being homes, we're not going to be able to fill these homes. Right now, there's a waiting list for every single home in our area, and it's not even built yet. So if we're going to have affordable rentals, which right now get online for Iroquois Point Elementary, Renton Road, you name them, people are waiting. We're housing across my street where on Renton Road that's being built, it's already filled, and they haven't even finished construction yet. So their rental is a hunger for that. So I think that would be an ideal for that. Maybe we cannot sell it, but for ideal for renting, because not everybody can buy, especially in that area where the colleges stay, the stores, going to be the new development, a walking distance to the rail. It would be ideal for rental units to be in that area.
Yeah.
And the industrial area should be the industrial area that 51 acres that Costco's wouldn't get to buy to build out their cold storage and their industrial area. So that, to me, I think that we should really consider, because I think we want to make sure, and I say we, is all of us, but my community wants to be assured, and I know they don't like any more building because traffic, but we want to make sure that we work, play, and that was the whole logo thing for Ho'opili, work, play, and shop, whatever the whole trip was. How are we going to do that if we don't have enough housing in the area, and we will continue to build industrial? We get the areas that is already designated futuristic wise, and by the new high school of Ever Beach and all that, we already have these designated areas for these things. What I guess Senator Chang is saying, and also I saying, is that why would state land, we want to prioritize industrial because we want to, generate a revenue source, when if we build rental units and get different type of rental units, that would be also a generating way of making income. So that's just my view. I mean, I don't think we should use state land to build any more industrial, because we're going to have a big industrial, then we're going to have to compete against Costco's and all the rest of the guys, Alum Farms, who are building their cold storage going forward. Then we got to compete against them for industrial facilities. So I think the housing would be a better fit. So I don't know how we can go about changing that mindset on the industrial part to be housing. If there's something that we got to do, would be good to get you guys guidance, because we would rather have housing than another industrial area.
Okay, can I just clarify? And I'm not,
Sorry.
I
Sorry, yeah,
know,
sorry, yeah, go
we
ahead.
we're open. I just want to be clear, we are open to other options, as long as at the end of the day, everything kind of pencils out and works. I mean, we're not going to say no to any options on the table. What I do want to clarify, though, is that the thought behind the industrial and business park is not heavy industrial like the Costco and the big warehouses. We're looking at smaller warehouses that actually support smaller businesses. They use them as like the surfboard shaping stores, like they use those types of facilities. So it was meant to be complementary to the neighborhood in providing an area for businesses to work with where they live. And in addition, there was, the office part was supposed to be complementary to HOU-EIG, so that, if people wanted to somehow do like work hubs or that type of thing, they would have to just go across the street and there would be this facility there for them to use. So it was a little bit more thoughtful than I think you guys think we were about it.
Chair, I have a follow-up. So, to that, then have you done any outreach to see what the appetite was in that area? Because there are work-live spaces in Ho'opili already.
There are.
So why would they need another similar place?
These were bigger. They were more like for the UH students. So as they progress and as they get, internships, or they wanted to do, entrepreneurship out of the university, it was going to support some of those kind of small business entrepreneurship types of activities.
So they reached out to you and they said they wanted that.
I think we've been a part of the TOD Council since its inception. We have had these conversations in which UH is a member. We have had numerous conversations with all agencies regarding our plan. We have not had anyone say no, or this is a really bad idea, or can you please look at something else?
But did they say that they wanted it though? even if it was your idea, did they say that they wanted it anyways? Did you ask them, like, you know, what would you want on this parcel?
Well, we didn't ask UH what they wanted. They do have a lot of land themselves that they can.
Well, I meant like the community, so you
The
didn't
community,
do.
we've gone out. I mean, whether or not they show up to the meetings, we have had public meetings.
I understand that, but you asked them what they wanted versus proposing an idea and then asking if this is something they're okay with.
I mean, we could have done things differently, and
Okay.
we could have done it more as a charrette. You are correct.
Thank you.
That is not what happened.
Chair, just a follow, sorry, oh, go ahead. No, the reason why they follow up, and don't get scared when I say Costco, because Costco not gonna build just for them. When I'm talking about the areas is what you is talking about. They're gonna build cold storages for rental, but they're also gonna have warehouses. They get 51 acres. They're not gonna build Costco's 51 acres. They're gonna make it sure that it's providing on the light industrial that we're supposed to have in Eva by Renton Road that got scrapped for the new expansion of the treatment plant. Those are the areas that's gonna have exactly what you're saying, gonna have little areas where people can be able to do their business and stuff. So it's gonna be a mixed use, not just cold storage, not just all Costco's. I seen their master plan. You guys gotta go ask them to send you guys their master plan and the idea, because that is what that area will be designed for an industrial use. So, and then when you talk about the University of Hawaii coming across the street and be able to use this, what we gotta worry about the University of Hawaii right now is bringing students
Yeah.
to the campus. Right now, we don't even have students there, so how can we anticipate that they're gonna use this workstation across the street if we don't even have enough students? So those are the things that we gotta pencil in too, because right now, I can tell you right now, we need rentals, we need more rentals and affordable rentals, but again, do we need this possibility if we're gonna have enough students or people within the area to utilize the idea that you guys had proposed that might be a fit for that community? So same thing I was saying to Senator Lamasal. Did you guys have any breakout sections? Did you guys reach out to any of the legislators or anybody in the area to have a town hall meeting so you guys can put on paper on the ground, this is what we like, and they go over there and they put one dot on them, one red dot, purple dot, you know, those ideas. Then you gather that and then you guys go back to the drawing board and figure out, that's how we did HOU-EIG. I was part of the HOU-EIG task force, and everybody would like the mixed use thing. So again, I mean, I'm not just telling you guys how to do it, but if you guys go present them to a community that right now is hurting for rental units, not so much sales because nobody can afford to buy, that would be the ideal kind of conversation, breakout sessions you guys should have.
So what I can suggest that we do based on all these comments is I think we should let's finish up, this is just a suggestion, let's finish up the EIS, right? Let's at least do that. Let's get that done and squared away. Because that will allow us to at least move on the TOD parcel, which is next to this station, which is the housing heavy parcel with the mixed use development. Because it is an EIS, we can do supplemental EISs, so we can always adjust. It doesn't have to be set, the EIS does not set anything in stone. We can always revisit as we go through the different sections, right? But, so what I would ask is, you know, let us do as you're asking, but let us do them in pieces. Let's take away this idea of like, we have to do this all one time. We'll focus, we'll do it on phases, and we'll relook at whether or not we have to do the EIS again, or revise or do a supplemental, we will. And at least at that time, if we're ready to move, the market studies and everything will be reflective of what it is, and that will better at least help us inform you that this is how we're making our decisions along with HCDA, along with HHFDC, that this is a partnership, that we're involving everyone that needs to be at the table, including you folks, that this is how we're gonna get to the next step. But I think it's very clear that if we can finish the EIS, we can at least start working on that TOD parcel.
Senator Elefante, followed by Senator Decort.
Yes, a few follow-ups. So I was looking at the East Kapolei plan, right, that was adopted by the city council in 2020, and then looking at the parcels that are indicated in this reso. So I don't know if both of you were at DLNR at the time, but did DLNR participate in any meetings to request for whatever specific parcel is listed to be industrial?
My understanding is yes, DLNR was involved with that. I was in DLNR, but I was not with Land Division at the time when these discussions about being included in the TOD plan.
Okay.
that was all finalized. I came in at late end of 2019, so between COVID and everything, there were already things in the works that kind of got solidified, and then it was kind of like I just had to accept it as what it was when
Okay.
I took it.
So of the 4 TMKs that are listed on the reso, which particular parcel is DLNR looking at for industrial? Is it the 008, the 014, or the 097? It's on page 1.
I need a map. Hold on. It is going to be, so the industrial parcel is 1 and 2. So it'd be 008.
The 008. So that's about close to 41 acres, right?
Yes.
So all of that is what you're looking at, industrial mixed use,
It was that one, and it is half of parcel 014.
which is 59 acres.
So, yeah, I believe that is.
And this is all around that, that station, right?
So that, yeah, that's all the Malka parcels of the station.
Okay.
So the station parcel is the one that is indicated as 097.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Okay. Just keep in mind that part of 008, there is a portion that is slated for the land swap with DR Horton to make the parcel near the TOD station more applicable to a developer, because it's kind of missing a sliver here and it's a weird shape. So that, I mean, that is, DR Horton is still interested in doing that. We just have to make it pencil out, yeah, the
Okay.
swap.
And then the last question I have, Chairs, is part of the reason for your EIS is you're looking at doing a market study to also see if industrial warrants development on the parcels that you mentioned. Is that correct?
Correct. There has to be a demand for the industrial for us to even pursue it. If there's no demand, then it doesn't make sense and we wouldn't pursue it.
Okay, thank you.
Any further? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So with the parcels that you folks have kind of designated for mixed use, how much does that leave us for development?
So right now, the whole of parcel 4, whole of parcel 97 is supposed to be housing and mixed use, more heavily so on the housing portion. So
Sorry, how
that
many
is the
acres is
parcel that
that?
has the station right next door.
Oh, okay. Sorry, how much acres is that?
That one is. Before the land exchange, that would be 40.2 acres. If we do the land exchange, that would give us 48 acres.
Yeah, that's not much.
And then across the street, there was affordable housing planned within that so about half of the 59.2 acres would go to housing.
Okay, when is your guys' EIS study going to be completed?
It's supposed to be, we're aiming for August. I'm hoping this does not get delayed anymore. I just want to get it done so that we can actually start doing
Right.
something.
Like that?
So right now it has 1,200 units of housing on the EIS, but once that's completed, then we can start working with HHFTC to getting housing there. And based on the market, we can react to it and do supplemental EISs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the housing analysis back when we did the original market analysis, the problem was that the housing that was needed, according to the study, it was low income housing that would have needed a lot of tax credits to supplement. That's the majority of the need. So it was trying to find a balance between that and then trying to do the TOD idea where it's workforce housing, right? So that's kind of where I think there might be a little bit of a struggle and balance. So, again, HHFDC is more well off to handle that kind of issues, and we're more than willing to hand that off to them.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Any further comments, questions? If not, thank you very much. All right. That is the only set of measures on our agenda today, so we're going to go into recess. All right, good afternoon. We're reconvening the Joint Committees on Waterland, Culture and the Arts, and Housing on our 1:05 p.m. agenda here in State Capitol Conference Room 225. We just heard SCR 68 and SR 63. Appreciate the vibrant discussion here. We'd like to recommend, chairs having conferred, moving both these measures forward. And with everyone's indulgence, I'd like to be able to vote on both these measures, take them up at the same time. So the recommendation will be passing with amendments SCR 68 and SR 63. We'll make a couple amendments. First, noting the prioritization of rental housing for these parcels, as well as
For sale housing.
sorry,
As well as for sale housing.
as well as for sale housing, as well as noting that as the discussion between the departments move forward, there should be MOAs that are brought before the board for to memorialize all this, so this isn't something that's going to disappear into the ether, and let this advance. Any discussion? And tech amendments. Excellent, thank you. Okay, seeing no discussion, Acting Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay. For SCR 68 and SR 63, recommendation of the chair is to pass with amendments. Chair Lee,
Aye.
Senator Inouye is excused. Senator Chang,
Aye.
Senator Lamusal also is an aye. Senator Decourt.
Aye.
Chair, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. And for the Committee on Housing, the same recommendation to pass with amendments for SCR 68 and SR 63. Chair votes aye.
Members, Chair votes aye. Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Elefante.
Aye.
Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair recommendations adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Adjourned.